goal. If you look at what is being spent in the agricultural sector to encourage Liberians to go to the soil, an environment that has millions of opportunities. Today, the school feeding program is being sponsored by Liberian farmers. I just saw an ad last night that they're asking people to apply to Mary Mills.
Okay.
Because we are using our local food. So if you plant pepper, that thing will cook every day. Pepper, onion, whatever, cassava, any farmer that can produce in different quantities, they will buy it and put into the school feeding program. So that is lifting people out of poverty, providing money at the agriculture sector. In terms of education, wherever you provide training opportunities for people, you create an environment where they are able to go and take care of themselves. So we have lifted people out of poverty. When you provide more doctors and more nurses to ensure that our people are healthy, under the sector where the young people who are in the health sector that I said earlier, that are now the bridge between the medical centers and the people, public health workers. I keep forgetting that name. They are the bridge. They are providing information to tell you, for example, what to eat, how to eat properly, how to take your vaccination, what to do, what not to do. If a child is healthy or a mother and a father is healthy, their production levels are higher. So I believe that we have taken millions of people out of poverty. The young people are not left out. We are now running programs. The general ministry is still running the cash program that Madam Salif put on board. We didn't scrap it. There are many families that are receiving money. Those who have Ebola, those who have COVID, to encourage those families to get on their feet. It's like a social welfare program. Will that program continue? I think that money can be given to do more business, because nobody wants to be a liability on government. We all want people to stand up and produce, where our country can now start to export. So I believe the roads that we are building today, they are farm to market roads that give access to the farmers to bring their produce. So there's a lot going on. So I believe we have taken millions of people out of poverty.
Let's look at investment opportunity, Madam Vice President. Your critics continue to say that you've done little or nothing at all to encourage investors coming to the country.
And that is not true. Because of the environment of peace, there are many new investors who've come. The old ones are working. Investors in the road sector, investors. Let's look at LEC, critical issue. When we took over in 2017, there was a LEC structure. You know, water, they say water is life. I think electricity is a little bit higher than life, because it provides so many opportunities for families. Today, in places where we have the hydroelectrical power, we have solar power, they're building new grids. There's a new project that was just signed by the LEC. They need 50 million. They've raised 30 million to do a new hydro, and they will be doing a dam. Our problem is that our water flows through the hydro and go right back to the sea. So whenever we get into dry season, there's no electricity. So the capacity they will be building now on the St. Paul River up around where Farmer is in Bond County, there somewhere. This will provide additional facilities. There's also a plan. There's another fall in Bond County on the St. John River that is higher even than the one in Patawee. People are already doing assessment there to make sure we have lights. We went out of our way. The CSLG lines have been paid for, so that in the back of Liberia, electricity is coming. Electricity provides all kinds of opportunities. If you just say your call beer in the evening, you can be poor. You know how much money people making these small shops you see around. Just go and do an assessment there. The small shops, the eateries, the small places, all the people making small money. Because we gotta eat now. You know, the eating and the drinking beer bar, you can't take it from Liberians. The fact that people are able to get into those sectors, if we were able to even get those people on the budget, on the tax rule, you know how much money government will make. And it's not equal taxation, because depending on the level of your business. If you drive around Maria today, you will not see any drinking spot. People homes turn to their homes. By the time you get to 6 o'clock, every home is a drinking spot. People go home in the evening, go to their communities. Thousands of dollars are spent on the entertainment sector. That money not going to people. And so when you say lifting people out of poverty, this is what it is. It's not government going and giving everybody $10 every month. That would never work. It's unsustainable. So I believe with the PAPD, with all of the programs we're running in healthcare, education, infrastructure development, agriculture, life expectancy on our term rose to 64. So that means we are now living a little bit more because of all the plans. We have the World Poverty Lab. Go and check. We have reduced poverty by more than 8% from the last numbers we have. And so the development paradigm of our government is ensuring that our people have more and that they can survive. Do we have issues? Yes. We'll continue to work on it. No government will come and do everything in 1 year. We have had 5.5 years. If you take away the 2 years of COVID, President Weah has only served for 3 years. Because during COVID, everything shut down. People stay home even though they got it paid. Companies and things had to pay people. We didn't shut down the economy. You reduce taxes in a way. You reduce, you give subsidies to fuel, to rice, to reduce the cost. You put the money back in the people's pocket. If a woman has 5 children, maybe 2 in 9th grade, 5 in 12th grade, you know how much money, that money that we pay for wax fees, it goes back to the family. So we are providing more income by the policies that President Weah continues to do. And so I would say, with all of what we have done, we have reduced poverty significantly.
Yeah, so talking about it, I know we're running fast.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so and
I said we'll open it up.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, Madam Vice President, you know, the campaign activities has kicked off, and you people are on it. I don't know how to put it, but you hit the ground running, and it's very much key. Now, during campaign periods, like it was done in 2017, you people, including every other political party, they carry their project proposal to the Liberian people. In that, you needed to explain to them what exactly it is. The Liberians accepted yours and decided that you have a very good proposal, you can go and execute on our behalf. Currently, as we speak, your task is, unlike their task, is about reporting to the people that project that you presented to them and they accepted. What have you done is very much key as well. In recent time, the current vice president, and in one of their campaign messages that have been running, which of course borders on health and quote-unquote security, has to do with these Zogos, the issue about kush, drug, and all of that. They are saying that this government has done, in fact, you have contributed, you have multiplied the issue about drugs. And of course, these drugs are affecting young people, the very young people you are boasting about paying their wax fees and all of that, contributing to their payments at universities. You are affecting huge number of those very young people through the kind of policies that you put in place, especially this issue about kush. You know about kush? Do you know kush?
Yes, I have. And let me talk a little bit about what we're doing in terms of the drugs. A significant law has been adjusted where those who bring drugs in the country, before, they were bailable offenses. So whenever you will catch some large cache of drugs and you catch the people who brought it, they will just go with their lawyers to the court and put in place their bail. And by that bail, they are released. They disappear from the country. A few weeks ago, I want to thank the president and the legislature for actually putting in place now the non-bailable drug law. If you are caught, you're not getting out of jail. You will be there while we'll be doing it. I think it will make a significant difference. But the issue of drugs didn't come about by President Weah government. And you were here? There were shiploads. One time there was a shipload of drugs that came to the country. I remember because we were talking about it at the legislature. Shipload of drugs entered the country. And you know the links. For me, as history, we all know it. President Weah didn't bring drugs to Liberia. It's been a problem, especially during the war. And the issue of the drugs is a major, major issue. Many of our children are on drugs. People we know are on drugs. I want to first say to the government, thank you for making this a non-bailable issue. How do we deal with it? I can say to you that government has a program that is being implemented now. We are putting in place 6 detoxification centers because the kids need to be detoxified. They're not praying. They're not keeping them locked up. I mean, you can keep a child locked up for 6 months. Eventually, they will detox themselves. But you know, if they go through the process, the medical process, it makes it better.
Surely.
So for the first time in our history, our government is now implementing this thing. There will be 30 rehabilitation centers across 4 counties. There will be 6 detoxification centers, and the private sector is helping us. If you go to Compound 1, I believe in Grand Bassa, there is a major facility that is being built by the Lebanese community with a company called Mother of Light from Lebanon. I've visited there several times. Have an amazing facility. We have given contracts now to some people who are involved in this area. There's a special initiative called the Samuel Grimes Initiative for At-Risk Youth and some others who are now going to be setting up these detoxification centers. Churches have been involved in this process. I know the Providence Baptist Church has run a very small program, very successful. Of course, they just make you cold turkey, and when you finish, they give you a job. So they've given those who are still on drugs an opportunity to come to the program, even though it's small. There are other women across. I met a lady in Buchanan who's doing a similar program. So a lot of people are involved because these are our children. Government now is taking the responsibility of ensuring that this thing is done so our young people have places to go. And in addition to these detoxification centers, there will be trainings at one point or the other so that you give them skills. So when they come back, they don't just go back to the streets. This is a societal problem. All of the religious organizations must take responsibility. Families must now take responsibilities so that our children can begin to see. I want to speak to the Liberian children this morning, wherever you are. If you are wise, don't start. My question is, we, all of us, live in a much tougher time. When you talk about hard times, I grew up right here on the old road, near the Total gas station. My siblings and I. My parents had to work 3 jobs. They would work at JFK, they would go work at ELWA, then they would come home and take care of their own clinic because they had to take care of their children. During those days, families were responsible for the children they bore. And because my parents were the first generation to go to school, when you get rid of one set, another set, you all went to school, you're the one doing the school business. I never heard my father complain.
Yeah.
The basic things were met. And people took care of it. So did he have money? No.
No.
He worked 3 jobs here, there, just to make ends meet. And so we didn't have what we wanted. Maybe if you get a milestone birthday like 12 or 18, something special will be done. Maybe they'll carry you to dinner to Diana restaurant or something like that. But we were able to go through difficulties. We didn't have all the things happening now. Our generation is stronger. Maybe the fault is on us as parents. We are giving our children, I do it too, so I have that problem in my home. We give our children a little bit too much. Oh, let's let them not do anything. You're steady. So they become lazy. They think their mothers and their fathers are miracle workers. So now I'm telling my grandchildren, don't bring it to me, I'm not a miracle worker. You don't do that, you're not getting this. Because maybe we made it too easy for the generation after us. So any kind of small stress, they go smoke something. Everybody knows drugs is not good. And once you start it, it's difficult to get off. What is going on? At one point, they were giving young children in elementary school tramadol. It is this government that took tramadol off the market and made it a drug that only special pharmacists will bring. So if it gets into the street, then we know who put it in the street. So we've done a lot to try to reduce this issue, but it's a societal issue. We have to deal with it. So the president has now put in place funding with the international community to make sure that these detoxification centers will be opened. There's a contract that I brought from one of the people who have received a contract. They will be starting on September 1.
Okay.
So there's a lot going on in terms of dealing with this issue, but we got to talk about it. There were many people that are the pastors have some small programs that they go into the ghettos and talk to people, but it is a process. When you do get on drugs, it's not a one-day thing. It's not 2 days. That's why these detoxification centers are important, to actually remove that chemical dependency, to give you a chance to become something. When you go to the site in number 2, they're using the old agriculture, the old public works site. That old public works site, that was a training site for everybody, for public works, their workers. That site has now been transformed. They're using the land that is attached also to do an agriculture project. So they will plant their own food that they will be eating. They will have a hospital. They will have training facilities for vocational skills training opportunities, so that when the young children get out of there, they can be better.
Okay.
So we are doing something about it. We are not just sitting and folding.
So, but let me just ask the Vice President a particular question about Bong, because after the call, I know she'll be busy. Yeah. Madam Vice President, I mean, anybody can hate you or they can like you, but facts cannot be erased easily. Other than the late Chief Governor Walker, you seem to be the next most powerful woman in Bong County. That record is there because you've been tried, you were elected and re-elected, and then you transitioned to being a vice president of the country. Now, a lot of people in Bong County say you seem to be sitting on the fence in these elections of senator for Bong County. Who do you support in the Bong senatorial race?
You know, when I became vice president, President Weah called me and he said, me and you got to talk. And I said to him, what's going on? He said, you are no longer senator for Bong County. Everywhere you go, Bong County, Bong County, Bong County, Bong County. This was maybe 2018 after we won the elections. He said, as much as Bong County is important to you, because like you always say, they gave you the opportunity to showcase yourself, for which you have continued to work. It's a good thing. But it's difficult when you go and sit in a room and they bring one report. The first time, what happened in Bong County? And not true. Go to the cabinet. I said, what? I see Bong County here. So he called me and said, you do not real.
I know it.
The entire country elected you, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to please play the role of vice president and let's do our work. You got plenty of work to do. I say you can't work for Bong County, but it can't be so obvious. And so it was difficult, to tell you the truth. And I've tried going backwards a little bit to just calm things. I always say the people of Bong County know what they are doing, because all of us have shown who we are. If you got one representative that rude to the people acting ultra virus, or one citizen that rude and acting ultra virus, because we got one person similar to Yeka Koluba in Bong County, Kole. All you know how to do is to get on the radio and talk about
Representative James Kole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chihuahua Taylor. Am I your issue? You are representing district number 2. Go do your work. It's not about what I do or what I do not do. It's about what you have been elected to do. And I know what I did. My record speak for itself. Bong County budget went from 50,000 to millions of dollars. Yeah, Clarence City right here. Under my leadership as the Bong County representative on the budget. So I've left my legacy. I will continue to do so. But Bong County know all of its citizens. There are some people in the race today, they will not say, oh, when you elect me, I will do it. They're already doing it. So the Bong County people made their choice. Some people who have served in certain areas, you go in the area, you don't find one simple town hall that can hold 500 people. They say, oh, they won't get re-elected, but they won't go higher. I live in that thing with the Bong County people. The party has some candidates in the race. But let me say to you, there are only 2 things I will talk about it, Clarence. And you can, I know it will be confusion, but I don't really care. Everybody should please cool.
Me, I just want to put a year for you.
Yeah. I only talk 2 things. I'm talking everything. Me, I can't talk all. Me, I can't talk all. I will not talk all today.
But you woman, you got to talk all.
I'm not talking all.
No, man, as human being.
I'm talking all.
Go ahead.
I want the people of Bong County and the Pele citizens and Liberian citizens across the country to give President Weah his second term at the first ballot. You see me campaigning in Monserrado. As a female, all my life, I've spoken about women. Why is it important to get women in the governance space? When I travel with the president, he will raise the hands of the people because that's his assignment as the political leader. But I was clear to say I'm supporting Josephine Davis in district number 10. I want to be clear this morning. It will make some people vex. My support will go to Moima Briggs Mensa because she is a female. And I know the work that she's doing in Bong County.
Okay.
All the other things stay shifting in a way. I really wish as we did in 2005 and 2011, it was because of President Weah's intention to bring women to the table that many women entered in the legislature. Somehow during this election, he said, let the party people get involved. And I want to say, Chief, because I know you're listening, I wish you had got involved more. Because we have made a commitment by your voice to bring 40% women on board. And when you look at the numbers, we didn't meet that. But again, it's a process ongoing. And we'll continue to work it. So for me, in Bonkante, I will tell the Moema Bridge thing today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow. The other thing will fall into place as we're going into the process, Clarence. We'll be talking about women can talk.
Okay, so question.
Okay, so
Please, and to us, we are the other people that will be talking.
The problem I say,
finally, to open the lines, Madam Vice President, we got October 10th just around the corner. We got a couple of candidates, you know, for vying for the presidency. Let me just name just two key of them. The two major candidates, you know, vying against President Weah, Omer Joseph Boakai, who was, you know,
Why you call you Omer?
Ambassador Joseph Boakai and Cummings. You are speaking to the entire country. Let's put it this way. If you were to tell them what stands President Weah out amongst all the other people that, you know, vying for the presidency, what will you say to them? You're fond of it.
And the first thing I would say is that President Weah has done what he has promised the people of Liberia. It's an ongoing process, and I know by the grace of God, if we get elected for our second term, he will continue it. And I know that at the end of 12 years, if you were to compare the kilometers of roads, the young people being affected, the women, the young people, the different sectors, we will do more than the Unity Party government. Of that, I'm sure of. So you are giving someone who has a track record a second opportunity to do more. The second thing is that President Weah truly is interested in uplifting the lives of young people, as is exemplified in the youth agenda that we continue to further. And I believe the young people, everywhere we go, they keep talking about the new opportunities that they now have that we didn't have. And a few days ago, we traveled to one of the districts, and when President Weah was speaking, I was in tears, talking about the fact that he grew up in a difficult time. By the grace of God, he was able to rise above those challenges. But there were not many opportunities like we have today. And so I want to speak to the people of Liberia to ask them to look at our track record, to look at the plans and the programs. Let's not pay attention to the noise. There's a small thing people usually say, I think the president says it himself, let them do the talking, we'll do the working. President Weah is working for a better Liberia. And I think for that reason, and this legacy he's setting, you know, they say if the Christmas will be good,
You know, from the east.
you'll see it from the eve.
Surely.
If the president has sat over the past 5 years, and all of the things we can talk about and boast about today, we are not done, then we have been difficult for us. But I think his legacy is strong enough. Let's take away the personalities. Let's look at the fact that he came into government at a critical point. He's carried the government, he's maintained it, he's expanded the opportunities. And so we are asking citizens of Liberia, regardless of where you come from, to give President Weah a second term on the first ballot so that we can continue the work. There are roads that need to be built. There are more schools that need to be built. There are additional hospital facilities that we need. The agriculture sector needs to be expanded. So, but there's one important thing, and I'm not a footballer in the sense of understanding the entire game. And I will leave this as a parable to the people of Liberia. If you're playing a game and you're already winning, and you have the striker that is striking, making the goals, you have maybe the last quarter left, but you know football is almost like biscuit. in a few seconds, somebody can actually do some kind of thing and turn the whole thing upside down. So you're never sure until the final whistle is given. At that point, and I know most Liberians, 99%, even our young children, are football fans. Do you change the striker in a 15-minute play? You're winning already. Do you change the striker? No, you keep the striker there because they are already doing what you expect. You are already winning the game. All you are looking for now is to seal it at the end. If you're not careful, you go start changing people. The other team are already losing. They will be playing all kind of games. They will be playing foul. They will be hiding. Oh, the referee cheating us. All they want to do is to let the game end in confusion. Your work as the winning team is to make sure your play is soft, because you just want to. That time you're wasting now. If you're able to score another goal, you score another goal.
Okay.
But you're not too interested in going go do foul to go knock people down, because when you do it, you know that different thing will happen.
Sure.
Let's just win the game here. So for the Liberians who are all football fans, I believe if you look at it in this sense, that we have one more quarter to go, and that the striker is on the field. He's playing. He's doing the things that gave hope to the people of Liberia. I ask you to give him your vote from wherever you are, so that he will continue this very fast-paced development that our country is undergoing after 170 years.
Well, that's the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. It's your turn now to interact with the Vice President. 0776, that's the alternative line, 540-987, or better still, 0880-514-096. That's the number to call, and you are live. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Go ahead quickly.
Good morning. My name is Father Lady, and I'm the national chairman of the Joao Taylor Intellectual Bureau, and also I am a tuition.
Okay.
The thing is, I listened to the Vice President. She was very extemporaneous. Her deliberation went down, and a group of young people are listening. We agree that they have worked, and basically their work has is seen all over Liberia, visible. And you said something. You said we should look at. And she said we should look at the track record of people who are contesting. I agree. All servants are in the legislature now, and the predecessor, they were passing book of legislation. For now, the legislature has really gained a gift and now passing legislation in the interest of Liberian people. So I want to tell thank you and for being the very good helpmate, political helpmate to President George Manneh. We think that the next 6 years will do better things for the Republic of Liberia. The people,
Okay.
the wave of development in the southeast.
Okay. I'm sure you made a point already. Let's take this other caller. Good morning.
Thank you. Let me appreciate the Vice President for the splendid presentation. My name is Aman Cosborn, and I joined the conversation from National Marketing. Therefore, Emmanuel with the Vice President descended heavily on the issue, clearly enforcing that she is not a race car packed like her predecessor. She has familiarized herself with the development, of the country. She's involved with everything. She cataloged some of our achievements as the Vice President and the general achievement of the government. So, it is an indication that she's not a factor. In addition, it's important to know that the Vice President is a thinking person. What do I mean by that? She has developed a plan, that after retirement, she will still have to live. Not her predecessor who told her after retirement, he's living on loan. That's poor thinking. So I'd like to appreciate the Vice President for being far-sighted in ensuring that she focus in the agricultural sector, so that after retirement, she will realize, benefit from those agricultural products.
Okay. Let's take this other caller. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
And good morning to the people of Liberia. Good morning to Clarence. Good morning to the Vice President. My name is Cooper Pathway, and I follow this morning from district number 11. Let me express my disappointment in the Vice President, right? Because she was not sincere with the conversation. On many occasions, people have questioned the former Vice President, President Puakai, how many roads he has built, how many schools he has built. But the Vice President still cannot tell the Liberian people as a Vice President how many schools she has built as a Vice President, because It's a complete deception. Like they said in the public area, they try to deceive the people that as a vice president, he was to build road, build school. So when he was speaking important, the community college unfinished. What the vice president has done, she has been on college occasion. She's here to come to be a down to complete her college. But yet she said this you trying to question someone who has said with interpretation. I'm disappointed on this morning.
Okay. You make a point. Let me take this other call.
So but let's stop there.
You want to respond first?
It's
Okay.
very important.
Okay.
It's very important. Our record speak for itself. Oh. When we took over, and let's go to the Bong Technical College, they have received increased support over this government. And I don't have all the figures, but I will have to come back so we can talk about that figure. Today, the Bong Technical College is fully functional. All of the programs have their laboratories. It wasn't that way when we met it. You didn't even have chairs at Bong Technical College when President Weah took over. We have had 3 graduations. The other day I went to visit Bong County. I got a gift from a friend. They've given me 2 STEM hubs, including digital, all kinds of printing. And I put one at YWCA because I wanted young people to have access to it in our community.
Okay.
And I took one to Bong Technical College. This is the only tech system, electronics, digital, that is in any of the universities. Bong County has a fully functioning set today. So for someone to sit on the radio and say, I haven't made any interventions, should I make personal interventions? No. I'm a part and parcel of government. We've had 3 graduations with the $7.something million that was allegedly spent in the Bong Technical College during the 12 years. Did we graduate one person? So I think this person is actually being disingenuous. But again, I say, let his facts speak for itself. Let's talk a little bit about roads. And I brought all my papers. You know, but the team chat, it's a little bit tough to get all of this stuff. The Minister of Public Works will be going on the radio tomorrow at ELBC. I mean, at Ministry of MICAP. And she was talking about it. I asked her the morning, I said, I will not jump into your team much because I think you need to set the agenda. The fact is that we need almost 2,000 kilometers of road. Over this government, in the last, and I said, let's take out the 2 years for COVID, sir. About 3 years. We take out the 2 years. In 3 years, we've managed to fix more than 700 kilometers of road. The ongoing work that now even added to it, Sacré-Pied to Tapeta will be 61 kilometers. You add, when you finish, you add one. Fishtown to Kilipo, 20 kilometers. Robertsport to Medina, 42. The RIA road, 45. With all of the other road projects that we are looking at. Let me go through it. I can't read it. The next time I can't give per hour because if we got to talk everything, then we got to find time to do it. Let me tell you some of the programs that are in place for the next few years. Tapeta to Totan to the Ivory Coast border, 40 kilometers. Totan to Zweju, 85 kilometers. Barclayville to Sasstown, 50 kilometers. Putuken to John Davis Town, 50 kilometers. John Davis to Zweju, these are ongoing roads. Kilipo to Putuken, 11.5. Salaye to Konya, 49. Konya to Vonjeman, 68. Vonjeman to Menikoma, 80. Buchanan to Cestus. Cestus Junction, Buchanan to Cestus, 87. Cestus Junction to Greenville, 152. And we are rehabilitating the road from Kawieken Junction to River G. This is in the next process. And then they will also be doing the road from Totota to Sanoye to Bonota to Phoebe Junction. This is almost 100 kilometers of road. This is the new extension that we'll be doing. A lot of it money is already in place. You got to do assessment on the road. You got to do all kind of things, or else some of the things will already start. So in the next 2-3 years, this is our extension in addition to the 748. So I believe President Weah is right when he says during his 12 years, it will be shown that he would have built the most kilometers of roads ever in our country's history. And I'm sure y'all will be there tomorrow. I will lead them over y'all. There are plenty of issues, many things happening. So the young man, I think, is a united partisan. I don't have a problem with you going and voting for President Weah, but I mean for President, either for former President Boyka or for Honorable Alexander Cummings, who are also vying for this position. But if you want better roads, if you want better educational sectors, if you want healthcare sector and other things, keep with President we are. We can do the same thing in education. I brought all my paper. Oh. I say we didn't have time to do all of this. Today you will find out, and you can call Grand Chile, you can call Sino, all the multilateral schools that were down since the war have all been renovated and furnished. We are waiting for 168, I believe, TVET teachers to come back into the country so that they can start teaching at those institutions to provide skills training for our young people.
Okay.
There are mega schools being built. Brown County has one. They are called the new educational complexes. It will be almost like LU Fendel because they will have dormitories, they will have places for teachers. All of this is going on. And the record is clear. So I think they need to, what is the record of the other people? Former Vice President Joseph Boyka say he stayed in Ellen government. And the thing he did is getting hotter. During the Bill Clinton, Al Gore, when Bill Clinton finished serving, Al Gore took to the political stage. He did the same thing. Instead of taking advantage of, and Madam Salif did some things. Now we're not going to say she didn't do anything. Instead of Al Gore taking advantage of the many things that Bill Clinton did, he paid attention to the noise. The womanizing, the other things, and he distanced himself from the work that was done during the Clinton regime. There you went.
He did.
For Honorable Boyka to sit on the stage and say that the Unity Party squandered the opportunity. That's not my voice, oh. What more can we say if he said that they squandered the opportunity of which he was second on the ticket? Then it's his fault. As it relates to Alexander Cummings, and he's a brother and a friend of mine, he has no record. He has no track record. Yes, he stayed with Coca-Cola, which is a privately funded company. He has no track record of governance. And you can say, okay, when I get there, I will do this, I will do that. But somebody who gets in a boat, when the water already in the boat, and you are able to take the water or and carry Liberia forward, he deserves a second chance.
Okay. Okay, so, Madam Vice President, I don't know whether I should continue with the calls because you already, you made your comment. Gentlemen, you got a question too.
I don't know whether you get to me. Yeah. Yes. Madam Vice President, are you aware of this new public health law that we're talking about here?
Yes.
Well, the noise all over the place now is that public health law in it, there is something in it that could give rise to gay rights and all of that here and there. That's the noise we are hearing. And if that should be, that would be the very, very big law that anyone will go by. So if you understand and know exactly what the Liberian people will be greeted with when it comes to that public health law, tell us what's in it. And is it giving rise to gay rights? And
I don't think so. I've read it, and I didn't see anything in it relating to this. We must remember that even though this is a new conversation across the world, it is not an African tradition.
Okay.
Howbeit, people have their own responsibilities and their own space. People have private spaces.
Okay.
When you go home and you enter the comfort of your bedroom, because even if you have children, you have to be careful what kind of sexual activities go on in your house. There was a little boy who was 4, I saw on the internet. You were asking him, what kind of sound you and daddy can be making? It can be like you're dying. And he was explaining the sounds that he heard from the room. The man didn't even know how to answer him. So you can imagine just in a family setting that people are married. We have to be careful what we do in that setting. And people have their privacy. And I'm not going to go into people's bedrooms. I don't care what people do in the comfort of their homes. I think everybody is responsible in their own way. This is not an African tradition. And as much as we talk about freedoms and rights, I have rights too. I don't want my granddaughter walking down the street and seeing 2 men kissing. I have to have a right to protect her view of life. And so as it relates to LBGT, that's where I've stood for many years. In fact, when I was senator, I proffered a law that said marriage is a union. Our laws now state that marriage is a union between a man and a woman.
Yeah.
And I wanted to add that there will be no same-sex marriages in Liberia. The legislature passed that law. It went to the president and she vetoed it. Even though she's
vetoed?
Yes, she's on record of saying that LBGT will not be done in her time. I will get that video. I will send it to you so you can play it.
Okay.
Because we know that it's not an African tradition. But the importance of this law, I've heard people from different levels, pastors, the council of churches, key people in our community talking about it. We all know that abortion taking place. Illegal abortion that is killing millions of girls. You will go in one corner, they will tell you put some kind of chalk, take some kind of medicine. People are dying. And so the government decided that we should put in place some safety regulations for abortion.
Okay.
That you can go to the hospital for abortion. If I were raped, I don't want to have a baby out of rape. So there's instances like that that abortion should be given. The law also says that if you remain pregnant to a certain level, when that baby is actually, you're not just talking fetus, baby. At 3 months, the baby, that no abortions will be done. People are still doing abortions at 6 months, 7 months, 5 months, and people are dying. That's why you have a high maternal mortality rate. So all the Ministry of Education is doing, and some people haven't read the law, and they are saying, oh, we want to legalize abortion. We have a problem with the high rate of young girls dying because they are doing illegal things.
Okay.
So we're saying, okay, if somebody gets pregnant under certain circumstances, let allow, because it's happening now. All the after them doing it all over the place, all our young people here. And so you will go to a place, you pay the money to do the abortion. Today they are doing it illegally. They are doing all kinds of things. Choco. I mean, some of the stories I've heard are just too crazy. But the law is trying to make abortion safe. So I want to find time, like on the radio, we'll talk about a particular thing, we'll bring the law, we'll break it down so that people will be aware. Because when someone from the Council of Churches or the churches, the Catholic Church saying, oh, we want to make abortion illegal, is abortion taking place in our country? Yes. Is it safe? No. Can we put in place regulations where even if somebody wants an abortion, in critical instances, it can be done? I think it's responsible governance, instead of just allowing people to continue to die because you can go and get it in another way. So I want to find time in this period that we can actually, I'll make the law available so we can talk about it. I think it will be important to read it and discuss it. Even if something like this of the LBGT seems to be in it, then we can talk about it. But my personal position is that it's not an African tradition, but people have a right to their private sexual things. And I always say, when people go in to have sex, do you go on Broad Street?
No, you don't.
Do you go in your children's room while your children watching? No, you don't. It's a private affair. So I'm not judging people who have their private issues. Please keep it in your closet. I don't want it on the street. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
So let me just read it, and something that is very false on our office and the Liberia Lottery Authority. I just want to say plus to you, but let me read this. I think it's a plus to you on your administration. And the head, Reginald Angle, says this one. He says, the UP folks are disappointed. A few angry partisans because the revenue generated from the National Lottery Authority is being used to meet the needs of our disabled communities, orphan homes, and of course aged and safe homes. Oh yes, and they are disappointed and in the legs because under the supervision of the vice president in you, and the authority paid and is paying more than 200 disabled students registration fees and providing 25 United States dollars monthly basis, and in public universities and colleges as well, they are also there and also give grant to more than 50 persons living with disabilities. And in counties such as Nimban and Ganta, rehab is benefiting from the National Lottery Authority, Liberian food, non-food, and medical items. We also have a farm in Nima County under the supervision of the National Disabled Association, unlike there, and the standard bearer JMB under the watchful eyes. He took all the funds for personal. Yeah, I don't know how is that possible that somebody will take all the funds, but again, to run his office and his family office at the group of 77. And I bought a car for his COS. Please, my man, just do your hustle, and of course, he was trying to give commendations to the work on your office, and I think that's very excellent. I want to say thanks to you from all of these.
And the damage done also to the institution.
The damage done. Sort of that. Yeah, so that's why I just wanted to.
And you see, as we leave, I want to talk about the fact that President Weah, like you say, is not just interested in major issues. He's interested in the lives of artists. He's interested in the lives of footballers. He's interested in the lives of even disabled people. It is only under this government that every sector is getting some kind of input. It might not be everybody, but we are beginning to do it when it wasn't done before. The group of 77 has been here for many years. We now have there's a building in Virginia, I believe, that needs to be renovated so we can move them from Corley Street, because that should be an office
on
on
Newport
a street,
Street area, right?
Newport Street.
Newport Street.
We should be able to remove them from there into a decent place. We're still looking for funding to do that. I'm hoping that next year in the budget that will be done so they can get out of that Newport Street place into where they're supposed to be, a place that they can do their own farming, their farms that the group of 77 is now undertaking in different areas. There's a lot that has happened, man. I believe we are moving forward in peace, and I think Liberians should look at the record of Ambassador Joseph Neiman Boyka, a parked car in a garage for which he says his opportunities were squandered, and for which he clearly said a few days ago that he will cut down all the programs that President Weah is doing. That by itself means, he can't be given this opportunity.
Okay.
Well, as it comes to Alex Cummings, like I say, he has no track record. He's never been in any government position before. He doesn't have the wherewithal to become president. And President Weah is your best choice.
Let me just take this final call. The person down on my back. Let me just take this final call quickly. Good morning.
Good morning, Summer Josh. Good morning to Abraham Gosson Williams and Clarence Jackson. Good morning to the first ever nominated Vice President Joseph Joy Howard Taylor for the splendid deliberation made. My name is Peter Sekatibo Bliri. I join you from the Mutanja Intellectual Forum inside on the second day, number 5, Montserrat County. Quickly, Summer, let me say kudos to the Vice President for taking all the developmental initiatives made by this government. Quickly, the Vice President talked about LEC. Remember that our elected power ratio was at 5%. This government took it from 5% to 32%. When it comes to the number of medical doctors, we had 2,300 medical doctors that were added on GOL payroll. That amount amounted to 144 million in the period of 6 years. So it means that technically the government is putting money in the ordinary people's pocket. Another thing, quickly, we're going to talk about the issue about free tuition scholarship, the free tuition waiver. The total number of people that benefited is 27,000 new Liberians that benefited from the free tuition waiver. That amount amounted to 18 million. The next thing I'm going to tell you quickly is the free wire payment. The free wire payment amounted to 247,000 people that benefited. It amounted to 20 million United States. So I think this government is doing exceptionally well, and I'm quite sure and optimistic that this government will be voted on the first ballot come October 10, 2023. Thank you so very kindly.
Many thanks, Madam Vice President. We'll have to take leave of you now, I'm sure. Any parting comments so that we can take leave of you?
The only parting comment I want to reiterate is the fact that we want peaceful elections. I want to call upon all of our partisans and Liberians across the sphere to please, let's go into this process, meet our people as we're doing, talk about the issues, forget the personal things, and put forth your agenda so that the Liberian people can decide. Last but not the least, I want to call upon Liberians in all sectors to give President George Manneh Weah a second term on the first ballot so we can continue the amazing work that he's been doing. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for this opportunity.
And we really, we are pleased to, in fact, have you here today, Madam Vice President. We're hoping that we can have it again before the end of the campaign activities.
I will definitely come back.
Okay.
5 hours that time. We'll try
Thank you. Really? Yeah, thank you so much, Madam Vice President. It's an honor and, of course, a privilege as well. And we wish you all the best, you and your team.
Thank you.
What's that number again? Is it 18? Where are you people?
We are number 18.
Okay.
We are number 18 on the ballot. And unfortunately, there's not a numbering system when you look at the ballot. You just have the different symbols of the political parties, and then you have the two leaders.
Okay.
And so you will see when you count from 1 to 18, we're going to 18th Street, you'll see the symbol of the CDC, a very recognizable symbol. The next picture you'll see will be that of President George Manneh Weah. We keep saying, he the only one that got a big pop eye. Look at it, it'll be easy to find. And like usually, I may say next to him, the most beautiful vice president that Liberia has ever experienced, passionate about the work that we are doing for our country. Just put either a check or you put your thumbprint. Don't boss anybody eye, it will be invalid. Just check where you want to check for President Weah and myself, and then you put your ballot in, and then you can vote for your senator and the representative of your choice. Thank you, ELBC. It's an honor.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Clarence?
Yeah, so but thank you. It's always good to be here. We look forward to more of these kinds of interaction. I mean, what it does is that it makes our people, you know, to listen to their leaders and follow their leaders instead of relying on speculations and all the rumors and things. But it's always good. I always feel good to come here, even though this place is not my home like AB, but I'm always good. Always grateful to be here.
Okay. Well, Madam Vice President, thank you very much for coming. Taking all the busy schedule. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.